Hey, what's up, guys? We are finally here after some technical difficulty, but we got it to work. So
Yeah. So hopefully it keeps working for us
we're
today.
going to keep our fingers crossed. So we're going to wait for a minute or two to let people in, or wait for people to come in who may have been waiting for us to get this thing started. While we're waiting, though, we're just going to, first of all, we're super, super grateful for everyone who's here already and watching. And we are going to be talking a little bit today about recession proofing your life. This is a 3-day challenge that we're running. This is day 1. At the end of every single day, after we share some thoughts and share some things with you guys, we're going to have some action items. So at the end of every single day, there's going to be something that you can do, something that you can take home and accomplish today that's going to help move you forward and help make this year the best year you've ever had. So that's our goal for this whole event, today, tomorrow, and Friday. So we really, really encourage you to do the work, put in the work, not just come here and listen to us, which is a really, really great first step, and we're glad you're here. But we also want you to take the action items seriously and start making some change.
Yeah, one of our favorite mentors and people we really look up to is Dean Graciosi, and his favorite kind of catchphrase is to take uncomfortable action, and that is definitely what we have put into our lives to get us to where we are today, and that's what we're going to invite you to do each and every day that you show up here with us, is at the end that you leave and you take uncomfortable action and you watch your life change for the better. And we're super excited for you. We're super excited to be here. This has literally been months in the making, so it's super surreal that we're finally here to be able to share all this with you, and we're super, super stoked that you're here with us.
Yeah, we know this is a sacrifice of your time. Your time is a limited resource. So to be watching this, whether it's live or whether you're watching it later, really thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. So today's topic is all about recession proofing your life, or maybe better said, bad proofing your life, because we know a lot of bad things happen. You really don't have to go far to find negativity, to find things that are scared, to find things that are happening, whether it's recessions, whether it's pandemics, supply chain problems, crazy elections, weather and climate issues. There's scary things happening all the time. And specifically, what we're talking about today is kind of geared a little bit more towards economic problems, because those are very prevalent. And we all want to feel secure amidst these chaotic things that are going on. We all want security and stability. And so, that's what we're ultimately after, right? And we want to empower you to take control of that and not wait for some outside thing to happen. It has to start from within. If you're waiting for the world to get less chaotic and you're waiting for things to calm down, it's never going to.
You've been waiting for such a long time, because that will never happen.
So it's got to come from within. It's got to start with you. And I think it starts with realizing that you are the author of your own story. Your life story is something that you are writing, not somebody else. It's not your parents' story. It's not your wife's story, your husband's story. It's not your friends or your siblings or your roommates or whatever. It's your story. And so take charge of it. You're the one who should be writing what you want to be read to future generations, what you want to be telling your kids and your grandkids about, or telling your friends. It's yours. So take control, open up that book, put the pen in your hand, and write your own story.
Yeah, ultimately, you have one life to live, right? And so why are we spending time waiting for our moment when we can be out there creating our moment? And like Austin was saying, there's so much bad news everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's bad news, right? And that can really affect us, and it can scare us into a place of staying put and waiting to ride out the storm. But here's the thing, the storm is only getting bigger. The media is thriving off of scaring us. And so what we need to do instead is look inward instead of outward. We look inward for validation. We need to look inward for strength. And then we need to push forward. We need to move forward and create the life that we've been wanting to live. Because ultimately, it's in our own control. We can make it happen, which is so exciting. So I am Monica. This is my husband, Austin. And we are super passionate about this because we have been where you are, Right now, we've been living a digital nomad lifestyle, meaning we've been working online, we've been creating financial freedom for ourselves, and then we've been traveling the world. We've been meeting new friends and family everywhere we go. We've been there for our friends and family when they need us, when our nieces and nephews are born, when people have house projects they need help with. We've been there for all of that because we have taken this action to create the life that we've been wanting to live, because that was important to us. But it wasn't that long ago that we were exactly where you were. We were feeling stuck. We were working jobs that were really overworking us and really underpaying us and really underappreciating us. And actually our relationship was suffering, our physical and mental health was suffering, and we were surrounded by bad news all the time, everywhere we looked. And it really had us feeling stuck. And we were really stuck in this rut and in this state of depression. And that's when we decided to start taking our life in our own hands. We opened the book, we took the pen, and we started writing.
Yeah, it was probably the heaviest on us, as with a lot of people during the COVID pandemic. Up until that point, we had to pretty much figure out as far as what our plans were and our goals. We had graduated college in 2020, and we had plans to go serve in the Peace Corps. And with the pandemic, that didn't happen. And so that's kind of when this heaviness really started to weigh on us, and we felt so fearful and so uncertain. We had our life plan kind of taken away from us, and so we had to figure out how to pivot and where to go from there. And just like Monica said, it was hard for a long time for us to feel like we were free, to feel like we had any sense of positivity because of all the crazy stuff going on. And it came down all to our core. It hit us very personally. And so for us, I found a couple things that really helped pull us out of that. So if you've experienced anything similar, if you are in a job that you are just not enjoying, if you don't like waking up in the morning and seeing what's going on in the news, or if there's just things that are really holding and bogging you down, then listen in right now. Because what happened for us was, the two big things were travel and entrepreneurship. We discovered that, one, traveling the world and opening up our eyes to what, the beauty of the world around us and the diversity of experiences in humanity and what people are living was beautiful to us, to see how other people are embracing challenge and how they're facing conflict and what keeps them hopeful. That was incredibly inspiring for us. And then the other thing was entrepreneurship. We discovered that we don't have to be stuck in a job that's not fulfilling, that's not meaningful to us. And so we realized that we can do something, create something of our own that's impactful, something that means a lot to us, something that we are passionate about, something that fills our, lights our fire and fills us up every single day. We wake up now feeling excited for what's coming. And we know it's still work, but we're excited about it. We're looking forward to it, and we're not dreading what's coming next. So that's really the two big things that have changed it for us: travel and entrepreneurship. And so we want you to find reprieve in these things as well.
Yeah, especially now that we're in the new year, so many people across Facebook and across the world have written down New Year's resolutions to want to travel more and want to have more ownership of your life. And that's why we've put together this event for you. That's why we've worked so hard to distill down into just a couple of steps of how you can get started, how you can start making money online, how you can start traveling. And we really want to be there on your journey to help kickstart you, because everyone has the power inside them to make this happen, to live the life that you want to live. And this event, this whole thing we put together is a kickstart for you to get you going on your journey. And we're super, super, super excited. I think I've said excited like 7 times now to be here with you. Sorry, did you have something you want to say?
No, I was gonna paint a picture for you guys, and I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar at all to you. And this might have been a story or an expectation that's been directly told to you, or maybe it's more, cultural subliminal messaging that you've received. But tell me if you've ever thought or felt this way: is what might be considered a normal life path, or the expected life path that, what you're expected to do. You go to school. After you graduate high school, you go to college and you work really hard to get great grades. You graduate with an awesome GPA, some good experience in background and education, what you want to do. And then you go to the marketplace, you get a really good job, and you work really hard to get promotions, to get bonuses at the end of the year. At some point along this journey, you meet your spouse, right? You find somebody that you love, you get married, you have some kids, you raise your kids, you continue working at your job, and you pay the bills, and you're raising your kids until they're grown out of the house. And then you enjoy a little bit of time together with no kids, and then you retire. And then you've built up this nest egg, this big chunk of savings that you can then retire and live off of. And then at that point, you can start traveling. You can start, investing in some hobbies that you really want to do. You can put money and time and effort into these things that you've been dreaming about, because now you have the time and the money, but you're also 60 or 70 years old. Maybe that sounds familiar to you.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say the kicker to all of that is that the average life expectancy is 78 years. But then the average retirement is 67. So you work your entire life like going for this goal of retirement to maybe enjoy life for 11 years. That's it. That's all you get is 11 years after you spent 60 years, almost 70 years working towards enjoying your life. And then you only get 11 years to enjoy it.
Yeah. So if you don't do much, if you just kind of sit back and take things in stride, take things as they come, this is more than likely the default path you're going to end up on, which we don't want to make it sound like this is a terrible left path. But what we do want to express is, if this isn't what you want, you got to put in the work to do something different. If you don't do much work, this is going to be the path that you're on, which might be great for you. But if you want something more, if you want something more meaningful and impactful, if you want to enjoy your life from the get-go, starting today and not waiting till retirement to do things that you love to do, things you're passionate about, we're telling you right now that you can do things that you are passionate about right now, and you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to enjoy time off. You don't have to wait to enjoy the work you're doing. You don't have to wait to invest in your hobbies. You don't have to wait for any of this, because we haven't, and we know that starting now, you can do it.
Yeah, and we live in such an exciting time, you guys, where literally the norms are changing. We have so much access to technology. We have the ability to learn new skills. We have access to consumer markets. We have the ability to create a life that's worth living. We have the ability to travel more. And again, not to say that there's nothing wrong with the proposed life path, unless it's your default, unless you just ended there by not taking action, right? Like, that's the worst case scenario. We really want you to choose your life purposefully and to design your life purposefully with intention. And so anywhere you're going in your life, you go because that's where you want to go, and you put thought into it, right? And so if there is a fantastic career for you somewhere that involves ladder climbing and all the things, and that's what you want and that's what you choose, that's great. But if this is your default, let's change that. Let's rewrite everything. Let's create a life that you choose by design with intention.
So the other day, Monica and I were at our church service, and
this is so sad.
we heard what we considered, what we felt like was a fairly sad story. And it was this woman who was sharing her experiences about wanting to be a librarian. She had gone to school to be a librarian, she got the education, and she loves reading. She said she spends so much of her free time reading. So it's truly a passion of hers. And she didn't really explain or share the entire story, but in one way or another, she ended up as, what was she?
She was working at a bank.
She was a bank, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
She was working as a banker, or working at a bank at least. And as she was sharing her story, she kept bringing up this fact that she's a banker, but her passion and her heart really lies in being a librarian. Yeah. And she said, well, I'm 30 now, so I'm working at this bank. I'm 30, so I'm kind of locked in. Is essentially what she was saying. She couldn't fathom that where she was at right now, with how many years she'd already spent working at her bank, that she could ever transition. She felt locked into that career. Yeah. And that's why it was so sad for us, because we know that you have something that you are so passionate about, something that's you wake up wishing you could do. And maybe your current life path or your current career is not that. You're not stuck there. You're not stuck in whatever career or whatever life situation you're in. You can change it. Your career and your work and your job and your family should all be centered around what you love to do, what you're passionate about, what your skills are, what your interests are. And if that's not where you are now, pick yourself up and change it.
Let's change that.
Rewrite your life story. Again, you are the author of your life story, not someone else. So rewrite your story starting now.
Yeah, I think a really eye-opening moment for me just recently, actually I haven't shared this with you yet, so this is breaking news for Austin too, is we recently went on a family trip with my family for Christmas. And it was great. Like, we were super spoiled. We ate delicious food. We saw beautiful places. But at the end of the week, I was like, I want to go back home and work on my business. Like, I'm done vacationing. I want to get back to work. And that has never happened to me before in my life, right? I have always been the girl to live for vacation, working for the weekends, just loving a good time, loving to get friends and family together, loving to party. But at the end of this week, I was like, man, I just really want to work on my business. Like, I'm so excited for the work we're doing. I'm super excited to bring this message to you. I knew this was right around the corner. I knew we had several clients who were ready to get their websites up, and I was super excited to get back to work. And that's never, ever, ever happened to me before. And I want you to experience that same feeling. I want you to be working on something that you enjoy. I want you to look forward to going to work. I want you to look forward to coming back after a vacation and building and creating something that's sustainable for your life and really helps you live your best possible life.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you said that, because I kind of felt the same way. By the end of the week, I'm like, all right, let's get back to work. It makes me think of a quote. I don't know who said it, unfortunately, but the idea is you want to build a life that you don't want to take or don't need to take a vacation from, because you're enjoying that life so much already. On this idea of switching careers and feeling like maybe you've spent so many years or so many dollars investing into this career, you feel like you're locked in and now you can't change because of how much you've invested. I want to share with you guys a couple of names that you probably know of people who have transitioned careers and been wildly successful in that. So I was looking this up earlier today, and I thought it was so fun. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. It wasn't until he was 62 when he franchised KFC and then sold it a couple years later for millions of dollars. Harrison Ford, he was a carpenter for years until he finally made it big with his role as Han Solo and then in Star Wars, and then made a huge successful career being an actor after that. Ellen DeGeneres, a very famous talk show host, she actually paid rent by shucking oysters until she made it big. One of my favorites, Walt Disney. This one's so funny. He was actually an ambulance driver in France during World War I, and then he came home. He was a newspaper editor, but he got fired because, quote, he lacked imagination and he had no good ideas.
Can you imagine being the guy who fired Walt Disney for having no imagination?
It just keeps going. Sylvester Stallone, J.K. Rowling, Ronald Reagan, so many big name people that we know who were in their 50s, 60s, 70s. And that's when they made a career shift and a change, either because they felt like it was time to follow their passion or because they got fired from the job. So they got pushed into changing their career. But it's not impossible. There's so many people who have made a change after having invested a lot in one path and switched to what their heart really, truly wants. And so I guess what we're trying to say is it's never too late.
Yeah. And that's really what tomorrow's theme is, right? Tomorrow, we're going to give you step by step how we took our life into our hands, how we created an online business, how easy it is. We really got bogged down with all of this different people telling us what to do and how to run businesses and how they did it. And we tried to follow a lot of different models and it was crazy, right? So we really, really boiled it down to what the step-by-step first 4 steps you need to do to start making money online. And you can start this next week if you implement it. It's so great. So please, please, please don't miss tomorrow. It's going to be so good. And we're going to be talking all about the practical the practical tips, like really rubber to the road. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen now.
Yeah, today was a lot more about getting your mind in the right spot and really lighting your fire and helping you understand that it's possible and what the possibilities are for your life and your career. And tomorrow, like just like Monica said, we're going to be giving you a lot more tangible, practical things that you can start doing in your business, in your personal life, in your career, to start chasing after what you truly want.
Yeah, I want to be really, really clear though, that this is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay, this is going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of intentionality, a lot of mental work, a lot of like kind of spiritual inward work. But you can absolutely do this. Okay, Austin and I are nobody special. Okay, we didn't have anything that you guys don't have, right? So we have been able to create this beautiful life that by design, a life that we want to live, a life that is fulfilling and meaningful to us. And there is nothing that we have that you don't have. You absolutely have this power and ability to create the life. You just need to lean in, you need to do the work, and it'll be amazing. Like, I'm so excited for you guys. I'm so excited for the change that's coming into your life.
Yeah, so we're going to end with a couple of quotes. And if you spent any amount of time with me, you know that I love sharing quotes. And it's probably because I love the way that other people say things, and they can say it a million times better than I could ever say it. So I'm just going to pull it from their mouths and share it with you guys. So the first quote is a Lewis Carroll quote. And this is kind of to wrap up our thoughts for what we're trying to express to you today. And the quote says, "In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we were afraid to have, and the decisions we waited too long to make." And I love that because it really expresses this idea of living life with no regrets. You don't want to get to your deathbed, or get close to your deathbed, or even get to your midlife and look back and say, oh, I wish I had done this. You want to live a life where instead of saying all of these I wish I hads, you're instead saying I'm glad I did. And look back at the things that you took a chance on. We know that it's scary. We know that it's fearful to change what you're doing right now, because it's an uphill battle a lot of times. And just like, water wants to flow in a direction that's easiest, your life is going to go in the direction that's easiest unless you purposely build something different. And so we really, really want you to live life with no regrets. And we want you to chase what you truly, truly want. And so that brings us to our action item today. And our action item, this actually comes from a book that we read to our nieces. They're like 3 years old, super, super cute, and they love reading. Every night we have to read them probably 3 or 4 books before they go to bed. And it's so much fun. But there's this one book all about kind of what we're sharing now. It's about authoring your own story and writing, putting into the story of your life what you want to be read. And so she says, if your life were a book with pictures and pages, what would you do to be read through the ages? What do you want future generations to read about you? What do you want even the next generation, your kids, what do you want them to read about who their father, who their mother was, and the things they did, the chances that they took, and the risks that they took? What do you want to share with others about who you are and what you want to do? So your action item is to ponder on that quote a little bit. If your life were a book with pictures and pages, what would you do to be read through the ages? So sit on that a little bit, think about it, maybe write something in your journal. And then the real action part comes when you go to our Facebook group. We're going to link that in the description of this video. Go to the Facebook group and write a post and share it with us. We want to hear from you what you have to say about this quote.
Yeah, when you're doing this reflection, when you're pondering this question, I really want you to put yourself in a place where you're looking back over your life. Maybe you're sitting down with several grandkids around you and sharing stories of your life. Or maybe you're just kind of in the background of your funeral. What do you want people to be talking about? I really want you to get in this space of having lived it already and to really think about what's meaningful to you and what it is, what legacy you want to live. I know for me, I really want people to say she had the guts to go out there and create the life that she wanted to live, right? She wanted to explore the world. She wanted to be open to new experiences and new people. And she went out there and did it, right? And that is a big thing for me to why I work so hard every day. Right? Oh, I'm getting a little emotional, you guys. it is so, the more you can put yourself in that place where you have lived that and you can look back at your life, the better your motivation is going to be, the stronger your why is going to be, the easier it's going to be to get to the next steps. And we really, really, really encourage you to share in our Facebook group, to share with like-minded people, to encourage and uplift people who are on the same journey that you are. I will definitely we'll definitely go share our whys in that Facebook group as well, so you can read that, learn a little bit more about us. But that's it today, you guys. We are so thankful that you're here with us today. We so look forward to connecting with you in the Facebook group. And we're super excited about tomorrow. Please don't miss tomorrow. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, remember tomorrow is a lot more practical, tangible things that you can do. So you're definitely not going to want to miss out.
Yeah.
So
thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Join us tomorrow. Leave your thoughts in that Facebook group post, and we will see you later. Thanks so much for being here.